Welcome to Conversations with Pastor Russ. Stay tuned for today's encouraging and inspirational message. Here's Pastor Russ.
Our questions about parenting, and really we're gonna tackle some things about discipline and devotions and what do you do when you're crazy teenager doesn't want to go to church, and we're gonna wrestle with some of these things today. But
that's right. And Johnny's here because, as you know, I am childless, and
Ruben has nothing to say today.
Puppy.
I am. Yeah, I just got a puppy, so that's
right,
the
dude,
closest
that
thing.
counts,
That's the closest thing I got. So I figured I'd tap in on some people who have a little bit more experience than I did while we were talking about this.
Good.
So we figured we'll get Pastor Johnny up in here.
So Johnny's got 2 children.
Yep.
The oldest is
almost 3.
So his experience is vast.
Yikes.
So,
and I'm a 3-month-old. So.
Yeah. So the one who's 3 is already like making your life crazy.
Yes.
Into everything.
Yeah.
And so you can tell us how you teach him not to do the wrong thing.
Yep.
But anyway, we're really glad you joined us again. You can also, please don't hesitate to send in your questions on Facebook. And so Ruben has got more computers here.
Watch out, Steve Jobs. I got more Apple computers than you do.
I can remember his name.
I
was going to say the Apple Store. But anyway, we're going to talk about parenting and some of the aspects of it, the challenges of it. And so we're going to jump into that today. But again, if you have any questions about parenting, go ahead and send your questions in on Facebook, either the Life Radio page or any of our pages really, or the Fountain of Life's Facebook page. We'll do our best to tackle it. But we've been wrestling with a lot of issues over the past several weeks. We hope that it's been helpful to you. But so today we're going to jump into this one.
All right.
So Pastor Ruben just has the dog, but he'll be able to ask the questions. I think you can contribute a little bit.
I am only host today. I ask questions and then I, for the most part, shut my mouth after that.
So Johnny, the last time I saw you on one of these shows, it was Saturday. You were on Andrew Torres's Sports
Show.
Talking about the March Madness.
How awful Syracuse is.
Oh, man. Why does he have to go hating on the Syracuse Orange?
Shade, right?
Haters going to hate, And so anyway, all right. Shut his mic off.
Here we go. You're done now. You're done now.
It's okay. We have a little fun with this. Okay. Good. So,
Here we go. This very first question. Are you ready? How do you institute a consistent family devotion time with a hectic lifestyle?
All right. How do you institute a consistent family devotion time? Yeah. You know what? I think maybe the key word there is
hectic.
Hectic and consistent.
Yeah.
You know, I think that we have to be flexible.
Yeah.
Because if we say, listen, it's going to be 8:00 every morning or it's going to be 9:00 every night, I think we can be consistent without being too regulated.
Right.
Yep. Okay. And consistent, if consistent can be every day, then that's great.
Right.
But God knows our lifestyles, our lives are hectic. Remember when I grew up, dad worked, mom was always home.
Right.
But now, most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, two parents are working.
Yep.
Kids are going to soccer practice and cheerleading practice and baseball practice. And
Yeah.
we got church in the middle of the week, and we got a life group, and we got church on Sunday. And so I think without question, life is much more hectic today than it was, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Or even 20 years ago.
That's fair.
But I think we all can agree that having a time to sit down, husband, wife. Now, we said family devotion, so
That's right.
you're in this one.
Oh, because my dog? I'm going to have
No,
devotions with
forget
my
the dog.
dog?
No,
Oh,
forget
okay.
the dog.
Oh,
How with the
okay.
dog? But no, I'm just, sorry. Maybe my wife's a dog lover. I can live without them. But anyway.
Come on. Shout out Luann.
So he's got a new dog. So what's your little doggy's name?
His name's Milo. You feel free to go and check out the pictures that I've posted on my Facebook or on my Instagram at
But we
Ruben A.
digress.
Ramos. But no problem. It's fine.
Okay, so let's talk family devotion. Okay, so family. So even though you don't have children right now, still you and your wife are a family.
Yeah.
Okay, but she works, you work.
Yeah.
So we're busy. And Julia is your wife, Johnny, and she's
Yeah.
got the two kids at home,
Yep.
and you're busy being a pastor.
Yep.
So is it safe to say that we can be consistent with devotions, but maybe not so regulated to where it's got to be the same time every day,
It's good.
but
Yeah.
maybe a little flexible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because with the idea of that, why, if you're going to do the same time every single day, 8:00 every morning, it has to be 8:00 every morning, but it's a Saturday. You guys got nothing to do. You're going to wake up, sleep in.
Sleep in a little bit.
Jesus
already.
isn't going to be mad at you
No.
if you sleep in until
Yeah.
9:30 and then do devotions then.
Yeah. Because the stress level, begins to rise. Oh, we got to hurry up and get it in before the kids go to bed, or we got to get it before they go to school.
Yeah.
It's okay to flex a little bit. And
Yeah.
and could I say, without being labeled a heretic, if you miss a day,
Yeah, you'll be all right.
we'll be all right.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Jesus
some-
won't instantaneously send you to hell if you miss one single day of devotion. right?
and so I think if we cut ourselves a little slack, that doesn't have to be the same time every day. And if we miss a day,
Yeah.
the foundation of our life is not totally eroded.
Right.
But I think we can all agree here
Yeah.
at the table that it is so important to open the scriptures,
Yep.
to see what God has to say, and to pray together
Yeah,
as often as possible.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's good.
Any
Absolutely.
other thoughts?
Yeah, I think you're right. It's not realistic, especially I've got young kids, 2 young kids, to say every night at bedtime we're gonna do devotions and pray. Sometimes my 3-year-old is just nuts, So we just want to get him in bed. It just doesn't make sense. We always pray over him. That's just something we've done since we first had him. That's just something we've always done. But to sit down and do devotions, to try and read him the Bible, it's just not realistic all the time. At some point, during the day we do, but to do it all at the same time, but it is so important. It's good, Pastor. You said it is, you got to do it. Don't say, I can't do it this day and I can't do it the next day.
Right.
It's so important to do, but it's not realistic to do it every night, the same time. It's so regimented, especially got young kids. It's just not going to happen. And you got to be okay with that.
On the other side, I think it takes some planning and preparation, because if we just say we'll do it
That's
when we
good.
get time,
Yeah,
Right.
It's good.
it's going to escape us.
Yeah.
Whenever we can have, I think whenever we can have a regular time, that's good.
Yep.
But don't stress
Yeah.
out and, head for the nearest bridge if you miss a night or you miss a morning.
Exactly.
And certainly
Agree.
laying the foundation of the scriptures, a Bible story, and a time of prayer, it's so critical and foundational for our children
Yeah.
and for married couples as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It shows the importance of what the role of the Word of God plays in your life. If you make it a priority, it's going to show through your actions. It's going to show through your life. It's going to show through your family. And for your kids,
Yep.
for when I have kids, and it's going to show when we
Yeah.
make it a priority that Scripture means something in this household.
That's right.
Absolutely. And let me throw this out to you, because we talk about family, husband and wife. Often the word intimacy is used. I don't know. When think about this, I think when a husband and wife pray together, that is a spiritually intimate moment.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we all know what physical intimacy is all about. And that's physical intimacy, you know.
Right.
But I believe that we can develop, and we should have that physical
Yeah.
intimacy. Can I get an amen, bros?
Yeah.
Hallelujah. Praise the Lord.
Okay, put your hands down.
Yes.
But you know,
my face is gonna get really red in a
Yeah.
second.
face and hair just can't tell which is
It'll all
which.
just be one shade
But
all
think
the
about
way.
it. Isn't
Yeah.
that an intimate moment?
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
for sure.
When a
Yeah.
spiritually intimate moment, when a husband prays, the wife listens,
Yeah.
the wife prays, the husband listens. And I think that, I think if we could develop a spiritual intimacy,
It's real good.
also then that transcends into our children too.
Yeah.
I know the little quip, the family that prays together stays together, is not a Bible verse.
Right.
Yeah.
It's one of those,
It rhymes and it sounds pretty though.
but there's powerful truth to it.
Absolutely.
Powerful
That's
truth to it. So
Yeah.
let's remember that and try to be consistent. But you know what? If it doesn't happen, like we said, one day, or it doesn't happen at the same time, we're not total failures.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yep.
All right, here we go. We might have to make this a part 2 by next week with what's
right,
going on
all
here.
right.
So let's see what we can do here. All right, this is
Race
a good
forward.
question. We asked around, and one of the questions that we got here was somebody saying our kids see us at our worst times. How do we not become hypocrites and have them stumble in their own walk? Then they gave it an example. A curse is said out loud in anger, but we don't curse in our house. Or the kids can't be on their electronic devices, but parents are on their phone a lot. So how do we make sure we're essentially walking out what we're sharing with everybody, our family?
Okay. So, you just said our kids see us at our worst moments. So they see us at our best.
Yeah.
And they see us at our worst. And so sometimes you're saying, so when a Christian parent like really loses it, tanks, maybe curses or gets in a screaming match with the spouse, how do we handle that and not have our kids think we're just hypocrites?
Exactly.
All right. Let me just jump in and we'll kick this over to Johnny.
Yeah.
I think we have to sit down and talk to our kids when a gasket gets blown.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we sit down and say, you know what? And this would be good at our family devotions.
Yeah.
We sit down later and you know what? You can see that your dad is not perfect. What I did was uncalled for. How I spoke to your mom was totally out of bounds.
Yeah.
And to say I'm sorry to her in front of the children.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to you kids that I lost it like that.
Yeah.
In front of you and to your mom, I was totally wrong. I ask you to forgive me, and I've already asked God to forgive me.
That's good.
And if we try to come across as holy, super spiritual, and
Yeah.
all of us fail, all of us
Yeah.
fail. But we try to come off like we're spiritually, holy Joe all the time.
Yeah.
And they see us mess up, and then we're always instructing them not to mess up. They will totally 100% see us as hypocrites.
Right.
Yeah.
I think if we can, but when we do mess up and we sit down to pray together and open the Bible, and we repent, apologize, and talk about God's grace,
Yeah.
I think that goes a long way.
Yeah. You almost start creating a culture of this is what it means to be a Hodgins. This is what it means to be a Ramos. This is what it means to be a Ferreira.
Yeah.
When we get to say that we're willing to apologize when we're wrong. And I think that speaks volumes, especially if you're leading by that example, being able to make it easier for you maybe later on by being the example now and saying, I'm going to apologize to my spouse in this moment so my children can see this example. And next time when they're fighting with their siblings, it becomes this moment of, I saw dad do this. And so I know it's not that bad. I can do it too.
To think, for any of us to think that we're going to live a mistake-free life is insane. All right.
Yeah.
But how we handle those, or even if let's say it's not with mom, let's say we, grab our kid by the shirt, and just jack them up. So we can say, well, you know what? Hey, I lost it. But if we don't ever apologize, if our children don't see us as humble, apologetic, and repentant, you better believe they'll label us a hypocrite.
Yeah.
But if they'll see the softer side of us, they'll say, wow, okay, dad messed up. That was a bad example, but he just gave us a good example
Right.
of what it's like to humble ourselves and apologize and be repentant.
Yeah.
And that's dad or mom, because guess what? Mom's feelings are cool too.
Yeah.
Don't say
Absolutely.
amen. Johnny, what are you saying?
I didn't say anything. Johnny, go ahead. Johnny.
All right.
Get into Johnny quick.
So this is, since again, I've got two small kids. When I first became a dad, and my son started really walking and doing some things that he shouldn't be doing, the first thought is, well, I'm the parent. I don't need to apologize. I can do what I want as a brand new parent. And that was one of the best advice I ever received from a guy who's got several kids and they're older now. And he said, when they were 6 and 8, I apologized to them. I went to them and I said, I'm sorry for losing my cool. Just got saved and realized I'm being a bad dad. And he told me this. And I said, man, I never thought to apologize to my 1-year-old. That seems, you even say it out loud and it seems silly.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we started doing it with my son, and it didn't only change our relationship, it calmed me down in the later moments. So when things would happen again, I would remember the last time I lost my cool and said, you know what? I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to take a calmer approach or not lose my cool, not say things I shouldn't say. And it almost like caused me to rethink anytime I go at a situation, I've got in a different mindset. Oh, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't lose my cool. Maybe I shouldn't say this. But it sounds weird to apologize to our kids. They're my kids. I'm their parent.
Yeah, I'm the adult.
Yeah. Right. And it's not.
I know better.
It's not that way. It's more so, no, I want to formulate this relationship with my kids that they feel like I can go to them when I do something wrong, but they can then come to me. It's this open door mentality.
Yeah. And how many times have, let's say there's an argument between a husband and a wife and our kids see it. Well, later, we go to bed and we apologize to our spouse.
Yeah.
But I think our children need to hear us.
Correct. Yeah.
As well. I had great parents, but I don't ever remember them apologizing to me when they lost it. Yeah. And wow, I've raised 4 kids and I look back and I'm wondering, and I'm sure I messed up more times than I care to count, but I don't recall. I never saw that. I don't recall apologizing to my kids.
Yeah.
But maybe I did, but it's been a long time. But I don't think I did. So because you didn't see it in your parents and because you haven't done it, because I'm the parent, I know better.
Yeah.
And, kids are to be seen and not heard. Anytime you decide to recalibrate is a good time.
That's really
so
good.
If you've never apologized to your children, or to your spouse in front of your children. Hey, we don't want them leaving home saying, chuck this Christian thing.
Right.
Yeah. I'm out, because they're fakes.
Yeah.
If we pretend to be righteous and we never humble ourselves, they're going to see us as fake. And guess what? We are fake.
Yeah.
But if we can be open, honest, transparent, humble, repentant, that'll fix a lot of broken stuff.
That's super good. It doesn't matter if you've been married for 6 months or 60 years. It's never too late to recalibrate.
Yeah.
Hey, never too late to recalibrate. Nice little rhyme there.
Twitter.
There you go.
Tweet that.
Get out of here. All right, here we go.
Instagram.
I want to see if we can get through 2 more questions before we have to wrap up here. So this one's going to be fun. Ready?
Short questions, long answers.
Exactly. All right. Speaking of short questions, here we go. How do you discipline your children? Your kids are all grown here, so this might look a little different.
Well, how did I?
How did you discipline your children?
Well, let me tell you what, I got spanked, man. I got lit up. But no, and Daddy's like tormented. I mean, he'd come home, he'd take his belt off.
That noise.
and he folds it over.
Yeah.
And then, and then
when you hear it coming out of the belt,
you can hear it coming out. And then he folds it up.
That was something else.
And then he was my dad was the best. So my mom, but he comes in from work and they've all been bad. So everybody upstairs, and he used to say, "Who wants to go first?"
Right.
So when I was a kid, the strap was a real thing.
Yeah.
And I took the rod to my own kids. But I'll tell you what, we're living in a different world now, and I think there's got to be other ways.
Yeah,
there's got to be other ways. I'm not saying never use the spank approach. Bible says, spare the rod, spoil the child. Okay. I know that.
Right,
but I think a generation ago, that's all parents knew. Just bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
So I think there are other ways to discipline than a rod.
Yeah.
So Johnny,
Tell 'em. First off, Johnny, have you ever gotten spanked?
Oh my, I used to have wooden spoons broken on my butt
That is.
by my mom, man.
how about you, Rude?
So I'm the youngest of 3. I learned by watching my sisters.
That's smart.
Not that I did not get disciplined or whatever, but I watched my sisters well deservingly get spanked around. And I thought, don't do that thing ever.
Yeah.
So Johnny, what do you 3-year-old? He's into everything, and I'm
a
sure
blast.
he touches things he shouldn't.
Yeah.
And you probably say no once in a while.
Once in a while.
Once in a while.
What are your thoughts, man?
Yeah. So this is something at first that my wife and I really had to work through because, I was like, well, we got to spank him. And I realized early, parenting is always a learning experience.
Oh boy, it is.
like crazy.
And you don't get it right till you're like done.
Yeah.
And they moved out. Like, gee.
I just got it right. They're going off to college.
That's
anyway,
so funny.
But so it was a learning experience, and I've realized that you can spank the wrong way or you can spank the right way. And Ruben and I talked about this a little bit earlier. When I
What's the right way? Because
I don't remember doing that.
we were in my office. Anyway,
okay.
so the wrong way, real quick, is when you do it out of anger.
good point.
You're frustrated.
Good point.
You go in. You're heaping and hollering. I'm gonna spank this boy, and he's gonna learn his lesson. And I learned very quick that does not work.
Right.
Wow.
When I go
Right.
in and I calm myself down, a lot of times now I'll send my son into his room, and I'll come down later on after I've calmed down and I'm at peace, and I go in and talk with a calm voice and say, "Son, do you know what you did wrong?" And then sometimes there's a spanking that happens because there needs to be correction.
Right.
Sometimes there's not. And I use it as a time for grace. Sometimes, son, God gives us grace. And sometimes we need to give you grace. And Daddy's going to give you grace right now. And here's what grace is. And so we go into it. So it's always my wife and her father have a great relationship. And she got spanked. And he always told me, every time you discipline your kids, use it as a teaching moment.
Good point.
Let them
Yeah.
always relate
Yeah.
it back to the word of
Yeah.
God. So it's cool. So sometimes we'll spank. Sometimes it's a calm down corner. My wife is a teacher.
calm down corner.
Calm down corner.
I haven't heard of that one
And so
yet.
we set up a chair in a
The
corner.
fancy way to say that you're in timeout.
In timeout.
Let's,
All right.
let's call
But-
it what it is
but
here.
it's-
Rebrand all you want,
Yeah.
man. It's timeout.
But what sounds better? And so
I
that's
like it.
And so,
I like it.
And so that's what we've done. And so
But
we say,
again,
son,
it's too late for you to use that. All of your kids are grown.
Hey, when my kids leave their kids at my house,
There you
that's right.
go.
Calm down corner.
Calm
and so
down
we just put
corner.
a seat in an area of our house, and we say, son, and again, a calm voice, son, we're gonna go to our calm down corner. I know you're upset.
Right.
And a lot of it is talking it out with discipline. Sometimes they're just upset and they just need to vent. My son's got crazy energy, so he's always yelling and doing stuff. And we say, son, inside voices. But we've noticed that when we talk loud, he talks louder. When we talk calm, he talks calmer.
Going back to following the example.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there's some cool. It's not just spanking, and it's not spanking at all.
Right.
It's all dependent upon the child. Sometimes my son works best with certain things,
Yeah,
and so you got to find out what those are.
that's really good.
But
Well,
calm voices.
what you said though, okay,
Yeah.
so whether to spank or not to spank, that's your decision. But if you decide to, like you said, Johnny,
Yeah.
very wise, there's a right way and a wrong way.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right. And out of anger is always the wrong way.
Yeah.
But then there's the right way and an explanation. How many ever got told this hurts me more than it hurts
Yeah.
you? I was like, that just set me into another universe. I never could get that.
That's fair.
But and until you get a little bit older. So if you do choose to spank, there's a
Yeah.
right way and there's a wrong way.
Absolutely.
And like you said too, sometimes you deserve a spanking. You understand that? But I'm going to give you grace this time.
That's good.
And what a great way
Yeah.
to teach a child grace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's super good.
So timeout,
Chill
timeout,
out
a
corner.
calm down corner.
Calm down corner.
That's what it
All
was.
right.
Yep.
And then whether you choose to spank or not to spank, that's a parent decision. But if you do, a right way and a wrong way. Good
Yeah,
stuff.
that's
Good.
good.
stuff.
I do.
What about, okay, hold on.
Go
the
ahead, go
cowboy,
ahead.
because Johnny and I are.
I see.
You just got Milo.
Let me just
Milo.
sneak on out of here. Then.
You just got Milo. Oh, brother tech director tells us 5 minutes.
See, that's why I was trying to transition here.
Okay. So now I forgot what I was going to say.
I'm sorry, I lost it. If it makes you feel better, what I was going to say is my mom, shout out to Mama Ramos, wanted to remind me of the power of the chancla, which is the nice Spanish way. You had the wooden spoon. Yeah. We had our grandmother and mother's slipper that was thrown at us. Or
that's hilarious.
I heard those Puerto Rican slippers could go around corners.
Yo, I don't know what is in the blood of the Puerto Rican. I don't know, but you can be 3 rooms away and somehow they'll wrap around corners there
and hit you upside the head.
Next thing you know, you're like, where did that come from? And pa que lo sepa is the follow-up.
Okay. Oh, I know what it was. So, Johnny, sometimes.
See, it helped.
Thank you, dude. Sometimes, so that we talked about to spank or not to spank, right way, wrong way, calm down corner, and sometimes taking away privileges.
Yeah.
Take the iPad away.
Absolutely. Or specific toys. That's because my son, I mean, the iPad for him is 2.5, it's an iPad man, whatever. But a lot of times we'll take away, hey, we'll find his favorite toy. We know what it is. Hey, son, we're going to put this away if we don't continue to do this. And it's worked. Or, hey, we're going to clean up your toys. He doesn't clean them up. All right, we're taking them away. That's good.
Okay, good. I think we got it.
All right. Okay. Last question here. Last question. We're going to wrap up. So we're going to go to this last one we have. It is said that it takes a village to raise a child. How do you see that the church how do you see the church partnering with families to help them raise their children?
I think that's a great question. And I think it's so wise for parents to realize that we don't have all the gifts on the planet.
Yeah.
So there's the husband and the wife, or maybe a single parent.
Yep.
Okay. And then think about the mentors that there are at the church.
Yeah.
And other people that can speak into a life in kids' church, Life Kids.
Yeah.
There's people that can speak into our children's lives or grandchildren's lives. There are mentors.
Yep.
So I think that if we think that we're the only ones that can help mold or form a child, we're wrong. A Little League baseball coach,
right? Right.
Or a soccer coach or a Sunday school teacher. But I think when we have solid people in our children's life, that just helps round them out even more, I think.
For sure. For sure.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Old youth pastor Johnny.
Yes. So I take this a little different. I love this question. I was a youth pastor for 9 years before I started working here at Fountain of Life. And I think the key word here is partnering. Okay. Because too many times we think the church is supposed to raise our kids in the faith.
Good point.
Right.
And it goes right back to our first question was devotion time, right? Are we having those things? Because I would get students all the time, and first time in ministry, I was 19 years old, and I would have 35-year-old parents come up to me, oh, what do I do with my kids? I'm 19, And so the first thing I would tell them is, I don't have kids. And secondly, it's my job to give them the word and mentor them and love on them, but it's your job to really raise them in the faith.
Yeah,
you got to give them Jesus. So I think it's really beneficial that it's a partnership, not the church just take ownership of my kid.
This is your sole responsibility.
Correct.
And I'm not taking any onus.
Parents should never just dump here, church, raise my kids.
Right.
The ultimate responsibility lies with the parent.
Absolutely.
But wise parents will see that other people in the child's life can come around them too and speak into their life and help them as well.
Solid.
Yeah, let's rock on.
Hey, look, we did it.
I know. I'm looking at time.
We didn't go over.
We don't even need part two.
That's awesome. Good stuff, guys.
Yeah. Hey, thanks so much for joining us here at Conversations with Russ. And thanks, Pastor Johnny. Thanks, Pastor Ruben.
Yeah.
Hey, we just want to throw this out there. If any of you do not have a home church, but you're looking for a place where you can really grow in your faith and grow in community, we would love to have you join us at the Fountain of Life, 2035 Columbus Road in Burlington. And we'd love to worship with you on Sunday. God bless you. See you next Thursday with Conversations with Russ.
Awesome. Amen.
We hope you enjoyed Conversations with Pastor Russ, Senior Pastor at the Fountain of Life in Burlington, New Jersey. Pastor Russ would love to meet you this Sunday at either our 9 or 11 a.m. services. For directions or more information, please feel free to contact us by calling 609-499-2131 or visit our website at flcnj.org. Thanks for listening to today's message on Life Radio WIFI. your inspiration station.